Well, hello, Lady Grove Park Primary School. I hope you're doing well. And I dare say many of you are quite excited. Last week of school before the break and Christmas coming up. And I imagine quite a few of you will have got parents at home that are getting in scrummy food and drink, maybe getting some presents, and your homes might be a bit decorated with tinsel and lights and Christmas tree and all that. And I thought today I would talk about a particular decoration that certainly we've got in our home, and I imagine some of you might have in your home, and that's what we call a nativity set. A set of figures that represent the different characters involved in that first Christmas. Here we go, I've got one with me. Here's Mary. And for some reason, Mary's often shown dressed in blue. It's unlikely she would have been so. It was more likely she would just been in a fairly plain colour. Blue was quite an expensive dye in those days, and Mary wasn't particularly well off, so I dare say she wouldn't have been able to afford it. And then we've got the guy she was engaged to and then got married to, Joseph, and an angel, God's messenger, brought messages to Mary and Joseph and to other people in the story, saying that there was a special person who was going to be born. And a donkey. A donkey's not actually mentioned in the Bible about Jesus's birth, but we often seem to have a donkey there. And then, of course, we have Jesus, who, being born where they looked after animals, was put in what they call a manger, a trough, where they fed the animals. There was no crib or cradle. And then the first people to go and see Jesus were a shepherd. The angel went to him as well and told him to go and have a look, see what had happened. And here we got some sheep. Don't know if he actually did bring his sheep with him. I wouldn't have thought so, but we got some sheep to go with him. And then finally, in the nativity set, we've got some wise men, or they're often portrayed as kings, and often we'll have three of them. Again, in the Bible, it doesn't actually mention that there were three of them. It mentions that there were three gifts. But we don't know how many. And that's one of the nativity sets that we've got scattered around our house. Another one, Lindsay, my wife, is a bit of a knitter. So we've got Mary, we've got Joseph, and we've got a knitted baby Jesus in a knitted manger. And we have, again, got all the characters. We've got shepherds, we've got sheep, haven't got a donkey, got wise men and an angel, but obviously they're a lot bigger. I couldn't get them all on my little stand here. And then yet another one that we've got is this one, a pottery one. Can't move the characters in this one. This was actually given to us by somebody who used to be a member of our church before she moved to another part of the country, and she left this with us. Again, it's got the main characters anyway. It's got Mary here and a shepherd here, baby Jesus stuck in the middle, and wise men. No sign of Joseph. I dare say maybe he's gone out to get some nappies or something. I've no idea. Very different to the other two. Mind you, those two are very different. And I thought I would do something this year, as you know, with COVID, that's caused a few difficulties for us as a church. We haven't been meeting face to face. Everything's been done via the internet, via Zoom. And I said to other members of the church, have you got a nativity set? And if so, how about sending us a picture of it on Facebook or emailing it to me? And let's see what sort of nativity sets we've got. And they did. They sent me loads of pictures. And I thought I would share some of them with you today. So I'm going to just put on a little slideshow that lasts just over 3 minutes. And there'll be a bit of music playing in the background, which some of you might recognise. So without further ado, let's play that. Well, what a variety of nativity sets, all of them portraying the same story, the birth of Jesus Christ, that first Christmas, but doing it in, well, a different way, each one of them. We have different focuses, I guess. Some of them have the whole picture, including shepherds and wise men turning up at the same time, which they obviously didn't. Others focus just purely on Mary, Joseph and the baby, and everybody else is just not on the scene at all. Then there's the sort of the stuff they're made out of: card, paper, wood, pottery, even one's just pixels. The age of them, some of them I gather from the people that sent me the pictures, are sort of family hand-me-downs. They've gone through several generations before they've reached today. Others are relatively modern, fairly new. And the Minecraft one is, I think, about a week, maybe 2 weeks old. And then there's the purpose of the pictures and the nativity sets. Some of them are purely decoration, to be seen on a table or maybe on the window ledge or sideboard or hung from a Christmas tree. But others have other purposes. There's a candle holder amongst them. There's a jigsaw puzzle, an advent calendar. Some are clearly toys to play with. And then one of them is a snow globe. Can you imagine Mary and Joseph having to clear the snow out of the manger before they could put their baby in it? Don't think that happened. And then there's the country. Some of them were made in the United Kingdom and sold in the United Kingdom. Others come from other countries: Ukraine, Poland, New Zealand, Peru, Israel, Italy. And some of those from other countries actually portray the images in their own local dress. The one particularly from Peru, the clothes that they are wearing are not the sort of clothes that they would have worn in Jesus's time in Israel. They are the clothes of a Peruvian person of today. And interestingly enough, not only in that one are they wearing local clothes, the guys that are there visiting Mary, Joseph and the baby, who I think are meant to be shepherds, well, they don't have any sheep. And not only do they not have any sheep, they don't have a crook, the stick that shepherds used. Instead, they have musical instruments. There's no mention in the Bible of anyone coming and playing a tune for the new baby. And then there's the actual style, the design. There's some that were clearly very intricately carved to show every single feature on the person's face, whether they're, what emotion is going on in their minds at the time. Well, there was certainly at least one where their faces were completely smooth. No eyes, no mouth, no nose. They could have been anybody. And if you went onto Google and put in nativity set, you'd find lots of others as well. You'd find that places in other parts of the world would portray the different characters to represent people from that locality, not just in the clothes they're wearing, but the colour of their skin, the design of their headdresses, their hair, etc. It reminds me of, well, the most famous verse in the Bible, a verse that when I was a child, certainly, if you went to a football match, it was nothing unusual to find a guy with a banner with this verse on it. John 3:16. John is the fourth gospel in the New Testament. The Testaments being the Gospels being the 4 books that tell of the life of Jesus. So John 3:16, it's the fourth book of the New Testament, the third chapter and the 16th sort of verse, sort of like sentence. And what that verse says is that this is how much God loves the world, that he gave his son, his one and only son. You see, what that says to me is that Christmas, and that first Christmas, wasn't just for Christians. It wasn't just for people in the United Kingdom. It wasn't just for people who were good. It wasn't just for a certain section of human beings. In fact, it wasn't just for human beings at all. God loved the world so much that he gave his son. That verse tells me as a Christian that what happened that first Christmas is for everybody. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with the story or not, whether you say, yeah, this is true, no, I think it's just a fairy story, whatever. Christians believe that the first Christmas is for everybody. And in many ways, those different nativity sets are, I suppose, a sign that the sculptors, the designers, the creators, each one of them has had that opportunity to think about that first Christmas and say, what is it about this that is important for me? What does it mean to me? What do I think is important about the story? And how can I portray that? And so we have, as I say, people from different parts of the world saying, I'm going to dress this up in my type of clothes to say that it's something about me. Or that one where all the faces are blank. Is that the artist trying to say, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be this person, or you could be that person. This Christmas, it's going to be a bit different to normal, isn't it? We won't be able to have quite as many gatherings as we normally have, and we'll all be thinking in the back of our heads about making sure our hands get washed and to be socially distanced from one another. But hopefully we will still have a good time with lovely food, the giving of presents, the chance for a good laugh and some fun. But perhaps I hope that it might also give us the chance to think about that first Christmas, and perhaps to think to ourselves, if I was to make or draw or create a nativity scene, what would I want to say? What's the important bit for me? How would I design it? I'm going to finish with a prayer. And as usual, well, go talk about Christmas. Feel free to listen along. And if you agree, you can finish with Amen, like I'll be doing, which is a way of sort of saying, I agree. Otherwise, well, just spend some time thinking about this Christmas, what it means to you, and what you'll be able to do and not do. And maybe think about maybe some of the people in your family, your life, that for one reason or another, you may not be seeing, shall I say. Think about them. Let's just close our eyes. So thank you for Christmas. Thank you that it gives everybody the opportunity to gather together, even if that's via video link today, to share food and fun and gifts, to share love with one another. We particularly think of those who are dear to us, who we won't be able to see this year because of this horrible virus. We hope that they will be kept safe and look forward to the day when we will be able to meet again. And this Christmas, well, we thank you for that very first Christmas. We thank you for the birth of Jesus. Help us to find some time just to reflect on what Christmas deep down means to us. Amen. So thank you for listening. And may I take this opportunity to wish you all a Merry Christmas. I hope you do have a chance for a bit of fun and some friendship and love. And I wish you a very happy new year. And all being well, I'll be able to come back to your school and do an assembly face to face with you. But in the meantime, take care of one another. God bless.